All right, man. So glad you could join us this morning. Um, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself real quick. So for the people that don't know you, they can get an introduction to who you are.
Awesome. It's always a pleasure, brother. My name is Saul Tercero, and founder of Untouchables Bully Camp. And my partner and I, Justin Ray, we're just coming out with Tcbr, the Certified Bully Registry.
Nice, nice. And so you're located out of El Paso, right?
Out of El Paso. So first registry coming out of the 915 and 575. So, breaking that little border there, and putting El Paso and Cruces both on the map, and doing away with that little dividing boundary there.
Right. And so I want to take it back a little bit, man, for people that don't know your history and things like that. That way they can have a better understanding of why you're doing the things you're doing now. And so just break it down for us, man. Like, I know you don't just deal with American bullies or pit bulls or anything like that. You have a long history of several different breeds of dogs. Take us back to when you first started with dogs.
So really, dogs all my life. Grew up in a farming family. So animals to me was just, some way always involved, whether if it was, horses or animals, cows, goats. And really, when dogs became instrumental to me, right around like 2003, we just started working a lot with dogs, helping individuals with different disabilities use dogs to calm for anxiety, depression, PTSD, service animals, and then that led into like protection work. But for me, it's just been, dogs is just different, any breed of dog, but it's actually helped me. It was like therapeutic for me. So dogs for me is just a way of life. And it truly was, instead of, taking your lorazepam and anxiety and medication, dogs to me that was my treatment. So to be able to help other people using their dog and wean them off of tons of medication, and help them use something that's actually useful and not so invasive, not harmful for the body, was just really motivating to me.
Right. That's great, man. So as far as the American Bully, I think I spoke to you about it before on the interview we did, but you were breeding pit bulls, right, before that?
Yeah, so we've actually had, so when we started off with like Mastiff breeds. Okay. And so we did Mastiff breeds, and then we did Dobermans, Rottweilers, bully breeds, but just different bully breeds. The bigger the dog, the more that's kind of the route we took. And then absolutely got into bulldogs. And then I had never seen an American bully before, but I was very familiar with pit bulls. And so using pit bulls, something that I've always liked about pit bulls is your traditional pit bull is just so in tune with humanistic feelings. And so I've had pit bulls that didn't care about dogs around them, didn't care about what was going on. It was just in touch with the human. So I used a lot of pit bulls for kids, for adults. And then I got introduced to the American Bully, and I saw that structure, that mass of more what I was used to with the Rottweilers and with the Mastiffs. And I was like, man, this is the best of both worlds. It's, having a pit bull with this much mass, and it just caught my attention. I said, okay, I got to move to this. And that move was just a movement for me, and that it just changed, not that I, left all the other breeds. To this day, I still have Mastiffs, and, I work with all different breeds, but that just became a staple in our family, is having an American Bully.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's a lot of people fell in love with the just the overall structure of the dog. It still had the look, but with the whole different temperament.
That's right. And being that, even till now, the American Bully of 15 years ago isn't what it was. That classic still exists, and the standard still exists, but people love it or hate it. I tend to like change. I don't get fixated on one thing. If I would have never been open-minded, I would have never, had a chance to meet and work with Americanbully. And so these new changes that are coming up with like exotics, and your pockets and your nanos, and I welcome those changes, because sometimes it's going to take a little while, to set a standard and to get them in, but you develop new breeds, and that's how we bring, they bring new aspects of life. The dog is different, their behavior is different. Something that I've really liked, I have a lot of older clients that say, hey, like, I want that Americanbully. I like that look. I desire that look, but I don't have the strength. I don't have the ability to work with an XL. Right. So now they're able to get that mass that an XL carries, but they're able to, now Americanbully the size of a little bit bigger than a Frenchie.
Right.
And so even a well-trained XL, maybe like leaning over on them, or, if it gets tangled them to their feet, causes them to trip, now they're able to, hey, still be part of that community and be part of that movement, but on a smaller scale.
Right.
And then I have clients that love big dogs, standards, XL, extremes, just because they're able to feel, it's like having a teddy bear that's willing to ride or die for you,
sure.
And it's like the love that I get from, I love big dogs. So to me, XLs are some of my favorite class, just because their demeanor is, hey, I want to love you, but then at night, if you needed me to watch over you, I got you.
Right.
So
yeah, for sure. So back to what you said a second ago is love it or hate it. A lot of people don't like the smaller dogs and things like that, but I was speaking with OG Ron Ramos, and he was telling me, coming from judging and being in the world of the pit bulls, just the Americanbully was getting the same pushback when it was coming about. The pit bull purists were kind of like, what are you doing over there messing with those Americanbully dogs, those, whatever they had to say about them or whatever. And he was just kind of like, he was like, I just want to support and contribute and help, these breeders, breed the best quality of dog that they can. And also now, he's involved with a lot of exotic and smaller dogs in those shows and those registries. And now he's getting some of the pushback from, standard Americanbullies, breeders, like, why are you over there messing with those small dogs or whatever? And so he's kind of just like, I'm just doing the same thing again. I just want to help, contribute. These things are going to happen whether we want them to or not. Like, I have no problem with them. Like, at first I was kind of like, I only liked big dogs and I wasn't really interested in the small ones. But the more I see them, the more I'm out there, the more I go to shows. And I've learned to like them a lot more, man. Like I fell in love with the little dogs as well. Just it's just like with any class of bully, you just got to breed them correctly, and try to not have any kennel blindness about the issues that your dogs have.
Absolutely. As with anything, one size doesn't fit all.
Right.
And something that I love about the introduction of new classes coming in is that, people that wouldn't necessarily join the bully community is now able to say, hey, I can do with that. That's that demeanor is, take for example, people come in, they see Sumo all the time and they're like, he's so chill, he just lays down, he's not a dog that's jumping on you, he's just gonna come chill next to you, something drops on the floor and he might glance at it, but he ain't gonna go get it. It's just, so people come and they come with a Yorkie or a Shih Tzu, or they come with a Lab and not necessarily looking for a bully, and they see a dog like that and they're like, wait, like, I could do that, I want that. And now somebody who would have never thought about joining the community is in the community.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it, is creating these dogs. They're still Americanbullies, and people always have a certain stigma about the bully community, and now showing these breeds, people showing love to this breed and open their eyes to like, okay, you know, not all dogs are working dogs, and you know, not all dogs have. Sometimes I love driving a dog. I love the drive because they're not gonna their day's not complete without working, and I love a dog that can put in some work. But not everybody can handle that drive. Not everybody wants that drive. Not everybody has that time for that drive. Some people are weary about that drive or scared about that drive.
Right.
So now it's wherever you feel like you can tolerate, now you can get in.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. It's just something for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of changing the breed and, you know, well, I don't like that, but I'm gonna go and get this, or I'm gonna go and get that. Now it's, you know, a bully that can fit everybody's needs.
Yeah, for sure. And so tell us a little bit about your involvement in the community in El Paso, because it seems like you're kind of like a go-to guy for everybody, man, when it comes to like, you know, anything as far as like breeding, just information about the dogs, contracts, you know, it just seems like, you know, is that something like that you just learned through experience over the years? And
definitely took a while meeting the right people, you know, as with anything, you know, and just in the world, there's people that are willing to share information, people that are not willing to share. Like I said, for me, dogs were just so therapeutic that what dogs did for me, I wanted to share that with the world. And so, you know, if I see that passion in you and you come to me and you say, hey, like, you know, this is what I'm doing, this is what's that, and I see that same passion that kind of fostered in me, you know, when I first started out, I'm gonna help you with whatever I can, whatever information, if it's with training or if it's with contracts or if it's with breeding, I'm gonna lend that help because I see that in you, you know. And so that's really what I've done is, you know, try to get the community together, share information, share knowledge, and to improve the breed as well. You know, there's certain no-nos that you wouldn't do that your typical person might not know. Merles just hit real big, and you know, everybody loves the color patterns, but you don't breed a Merle to a Merle. But if you don't have that knowledge, that information, you know, you might do it and you're going to produce something that's going to have, you know, adverse effects. You don't want that to happen, you know. So as somebody who's been doing it for a while, this is the kind of things that, you know, you want to share, you want to put out there, you want to give that advice. As far as breeding, whelping is one of the biggest impacts that you could have in a puppy's life. And so little things as, hey, you know, play background music while the pups are asleep, mess with them while they're eating, play barking sounds, play ambulance noises, you know, get them used to like banging around, socialization. By doing that, you're going to avoid having, you know, an aggressive dog, a reactive dog. And now you're helping build a safer, more welcoming bully community. You're not having all sorts of behavior issues. You know, when people go to shows, sometimes it's almost expected. You're going to see a dog going crazy. You're going to see a dog going wild. I'd rather not have that. You know, if I could have a 15, 20-minute conversation with somebody about how to change that, about how to fix that, I will, because it just makes the whole community look that much better.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. And so, you know, as far as El Paso, I know you've been throwing a lot of fun shows and things like that. When did that start for you? When did you throw your first show?
Oh man, if my dog skills can work as good as my or my memory can work good as my dog skills, you know,
what year do you think it was?
I would say maybe 2000s, 2015, 2017. That's when I just started. Everything was just bully, getting really engulfed in that world. And several people here in the community that I saw and was like, wow, like they have great programs. They were putting on for, I remember going one of the shows that really stood out, it was with Terry Green, doing the boxing. Well, he had that boxing gym, and right across there was a hall, and they had made it like a boxing event and then American Bully. And so
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
like,
there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
making this like kind of like, oh man, and several shows before that, but that's something that I was like, oh, like this is something that's really neat. I saw kids, and that's when I was like, this is like family. I'm real big on family. I'm huge on family. I love things that I can bring in my family and us function as a unit.
Yeah.
And that's when the wheels just started going of like, man, we need to have more and more of this,
Right.
and really just took off from there.
Yeah, I remember that event because my son actually fought at that event. It was at the like the Titanic Ballroom or something like
that's
that.
That's right.
Yeah, on the Northeast. Yeah, so yeah, I remember that event. It was cool, man. And see, I didn't know that they were gonna have a bully show at that event. I was just going for the boxing, but I remember seeing all the dogs outside, and I was like, oh, this is a dope concept, to have two things going on at once because you kind of draw a bigger crowd. I noticed that they do that in Albuquerque. I don't know if you know that guy Mark Molina, but he does the lowriders and bullies event.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's cool, man, because it brings out, a lot of people, and maybe people that are just coming for cars get to see the dogs, and people that are going for the dogs get to see the cars. So it's cool like that.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, that's actually some of the concepts that we have in mind is bringing that exposure to people who necessarily wouldn't go to a dog show. Now they're there because of a boxing event, or they're there because of a lowrider show or a truck show, and then they're like, whoa, like, hey, like I like this is neat, I want to learn more about it, I want to become part of that.
Yeah.
And I think you open new doors there, and you introduce new people about the breed.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And so there's a lot of people putting on shows in El Paso now, fun shows. Some people are putting sanctioned shows together, but it's fun to see, man. And I try to support everybody. Like, I'm not just biased and just going to certain things. If I can make it, I go. Sometimes I'm not available, but it seems like it's just growing and growing. I hope that everybody continues to try to just support each other and no drama starts. But I mean, so far so good. I know there's little issues with certain people here and there, and that's just humans interacting with each other. But where do you see the bully community going in El Paso?
So definitely, there's always, like you said, I mean, with anything, you're gonna have, out of 10 dogs, you're gonna have one or two that might not, fit into that mold. It's gonna need a little bit more of like training or whatnot. But I think that's with anything in life, not everybody's gonna feel a part of that pack. Not everybody's gonna feel, but it's all right, and learning that of it. Hey, you may not like my style, you may not like me personally, but as long as they respect what you do, I think that's where it happens. Is that you don't have to be best friends. You don't have to, but you know like the true intent of what they're doing and why they're in this. There's been tons of like shows coming up and fun shows and events where they draw a crowd out there, and you go support, or hey, you know what, we want to sponsor your guys' trophies, or we want to do this. Yeah, hey, give me a booth. And I've bought so many booths of some of the shows I don't even go, but just so that they know, like, hey, I'm with what you're doing,
right?
And I want you to progress, and I want you to draw out more attention, and you're going to be able to reach out to somebody that maybe I didn't get a chance, or I didn't have an opportunity to bring to that person, and you're bringing good awareness. And so the same way as you just said, I try to support everything that goes on in this city. As far as a dog event, I'll go, even if it's just a contest that's going on, or events that they have within the city that have nothing to do with bullies. I'll take one of our dogs just to kind of grow that, and so that people could see, hey man, what kind of dog is that? And there's still people here that don't understand like the difference between American Bully and pit bull. So hey, that's a big pit bull, and thank you, hey, this is that, and let me show you some of these pictures. And they're like, whoa, and that's the beauty of it, bringing that awareness.
Yeah, I get that all the time, man. Every time I take Sirius out, people are like, oh, that's a badass pit. And I'm like, Yeah, and if I get a chance to explain it, I explain it. But if not, it's just like, yeah, thanks, man. But
Yeah.
he looks like one, but man, coolest dog ever, bro. Just the temperament is just unreal.
I think that's the beauty of it, is well, people here down our street and around here, they already know us. They already know we walk with a pack, but you know, you're walking down a neighborhood, and you're walking a big pack. They'll take off, on the other side of the street, or they might choke up on their dog a little bit, and once they see that, they're not aggressive, they want to be touched, they're polite, they'll sit down. Now we got them, instead of walking across the street, they're coming over, or sometimes we'll have, hey, my family's in town from so and so, and they came from Colorado, and can we come? Can I show them your dogs? And come on in.
That's awesome.
Just having that ability to be able to change their mind and their concept of, like, I hear the way that they describe the American bully to their loved ones, and it looks like a pit bull, but it's not, and they're nice, and you can touch them, and they're not aggressive. And to me, I'm like, okay, that's not how I would describe it. I would just there's a lot more, but you could see that they truly got affected, and their mindset changed, and they want to share that with their loved ones, which is really cool.
Usually when I take Sirius out, it's like he's getting flexed on, man. Other dogs are growling at him, and he's just like looking at them like, man, what's the problem, man? Like, little dogs, it's usually little dogs, they always flexing on him, but he just wags his tail and goes about his business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's fast forward, man, to what it is we got going on now. I spoke to you at the show last weekend. You guys were there registering dogs for this registry that you started. Before we get into the details of how people can register and stuff, let's get into why it is that you even want to start a new registry.
Definitely, and I love that question, in that if you know me personally, it's not about hey, well, this registry doesn't do this, and this registry doesn't. It's truly not about that. As I've said, to me, dogs is just something different. All dogs, not just bullies. And I've always been passionate about the dogs. I've always been passionate about showing that, expressing that passion, sharing with others, bringing others together, and to see if maybe dogs will do for you as they did for me. And so bringing this registry is just something that, well, I would do this different, and I would do, you've always gone to an event, and you're like, wow, that was cool, but I would change this and I would change that, and I like this, but this is what I would modify. And instead of saying those things, I just talked to Justin. I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want to do, this is what I would do different, and I want to add this, I want to do this piece. And he was with it. He's like, absolutely. Instead of criticizing others, like, what can you do and what can you be different? One of the big things that I saw that I wanted to do is, if you know me, if you've been with me, if you had a conversation, if you're on my Facebook, is I'm a huge advocate for family, loyalty, just being together, supporting each other. And that's what I wanted Tcbr to do. Is, you're part of a registry, but it's more than just a registry. Like, I want you to feel like you're actually part of that registry.
Right.
I want you to go to a show, and you might have a beautiful dog, but nobody knows you. That doesn't mean you can't be up on that page. That doesn't mean that your dog can't be one of our standards. I want to show that love. I want to show that, hey, it doesn't matter if it's, one person in that kennel club, or if it's, 100 people in your club. Like, I want to show you love. If I like your dog, I like your dog. Doesn't matter if you bred it, if you bought it, I want that person to feel like I'm part of Tcbr, but like, I actually feel like I'm a part of it. Also, something that came up is, show people, you just judged this show for us, and when you go to the show, you see kind of people, they're standing there, and they're kind of looking at you and seeing what you're looking at, and how did you hold the dog, how did you taking the time to, hey, you know what, the show's on Saturday, Friday night, or maybe a few hours before the show, we're going to have a training. Come in and let me show you what they're looking at. Let's mic up the judge. And so when the judge is saying, hey, you know what, do this, do that, grab on this side, you want to walk them on this side. Why do you want to walk them on this side? Look, when you're showing, stand them up here. And then that way, somebody who really doesn't know or is part of it, but maybe something, tips and tricks that they can do to better how they showcase, now they're able to listen to that. They're able to get that feedback. And so instead of the judge talking to one person, it's like they're reaching out to millions of people.
Right.
And that's how I want people to be able to interact and learn. And, you know, a huge component of mine is, you know, junior handlers.
Yeah.
And being able to, you know, build that passion of having, you know, more events. What do you know about the dog? What can your dog do? Are you comfortable with the dog? And, you know, how can you make them feel more comfortable and feel accomplished and feel achieved? So then that way, instead of just getting a junior handler, we're getting somebody who's going to be in the community for a lifetime.
Right. Yeah, definitely, man. That sounds awesome, man. And I know you personally, so I know, excuse me, there's nothing but good intentions behind what you and Justin are doing. And, you know, being that you and Justin have been around the American Bully for so long, you know, I feel it's right that, you know, you guys are the right people to even try to attempt to start a new registry. And, you know, like you said, you know, you don't want to bash the other registries. Like, we're all still part of the other registries. We're all still going to use the other registries, you know, but you seen something that you wanted to create. And man, I'm always a fan of people starting things from nothing and building them up. And I always want to support people doing that kind of thing, man. So you got my support. So explain to us, you know, how people can get registered. What can they expect from the registry? And maybe what are some things that you guys are doing different? Maybe the registration process, you know, and things like that.
For one thing, I definitely, man, we appreciate you always showing love. And actually, like we have told you, we want you to be part of the fam.
Yeah.
We welcome you. We're always looking for good people, you know, to join our team, just because to me, that's what sets you apart. When we're building, so I had reached out to Justin and say, hey, here's the ideas. Reason I reached out to Justin is we've been trying to work for years. This is just something that I seen in him that, you know, he has that drive, that motivation. He loves dogs. And I said, hey, that's a perfect partner. But if you see any event that we go to, is I surround myself with a team that's just really untouchable. And that's, you know, kind of where that name comes, Untouchables, is that they bring a different vision that I don't always see. And like I was telling you before, is nothing is one size fits all.
Right.
And what I love about that team that's behind me is, you know, we have that loyalty and that respect with each other that, you know, it might not be there, but they'll pull me to the side and say, hey, what about this and that? And we could do this different. And, oh, we should have done it like that. We'll have that feedback. And, you know, when it's coming in a positive way, we're like, you know what, you're right. We could have done this and we could have done that. And I think that's where you'll see that TCBR is different, in that we have a team that's putting it together, that's kind of molding it so it could be like multifaceted. I mean, it's just not one pair of eyes this is what we're doing, this is what we're sticking to. Is we have that team that's making it three-dimensional, that it can be, hey, what about for these people? What about for those people? And, you know, one of the things that, you know, was mentioned was what makes you stand out, you know, as a registry. What's going to make you is, well, if you know me and if you know my team, you know that we have special things planned. As a matter of fact, I had an individual reach out to me and say, hey, I'm, you know, in December, I want to do this. I want to do a toy drive. Well, my team and I, for the past 10 years, you know, we've done we always do, you know, a Thanksgiving drive, we do a Christmas drive, we do, and I'm like, hey, you know what, now instead of being Untouchables, is now it's going to be a TCBR event. Right. Hey, you know, a registry that, you know, come in, let's have some fun, bring in some jackets, bring in some toys, you know, let's get our hands dirty and go out to shelters, that's what TCBR is about, is a combination of all these years and experience, everything that we've done for the community. But now instead of just being, our kennel club, now it's anybody who's a part of TCBR. So something that'll grow in 10 years and say there's, 1 million of us, then it's 1 million folks, 1 million pairs of hands going out there and helping the community, not just in El Paso, but, in California, in Oklahoma, in New York, and something that's like worldwide that we can say, hey, you know what, we're going to do an international bully show. What are the prerequisites for you to join? Go out and do something for your community. Go donate a toy. Go help, feed a veteran. Go help somebody who's underserved or underprivileged. And that's going to be how you're going to pay to, join this show. Growing something bigger than just ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think you can expect from TCBR is we're always looking as being servants first. How could we help? How could we bring love to the community? How can we grow? How can we be impactful to somebody's life? Yes, it's a business, and the business has to be profitable to stay alive. But part of the reason why I reached out to Justin too is we don't use the dogs for profit. If you've seen the way my dogs live, what they eat, their lifestyle, it's something that I pour in. But like I said, when the dogs don't pay me, they don't make a living for me, but they help me live. That's my therapy. That's how I fill my bucket. When I'm running low and when I'm on E, my dogs is what recharges me. And so same thing with Justin. He has his dogs, but he has his livelihood, and dogs isn't the way he pays his bills. But he has that same passion where we weren't fed with a silver spoon. So we know what it is. Like I was telling you, people say, hey, why do you always do the kids? And, during, these times of the years or back to school drives. And I said, I remember like being a kid, like being able to, you didn't wish for a PlayStation, you just wished for some pizza and, some drinks and be able to have fun and be with your friends. Like that was what Christmas was for us is, man. So hopefully somebody, reaches out to me and does something special. Last year, I got with a good friend of mine, Juan here from El Paso, and he's real big in the car scene, lowriders and big trucks, and said, hey, we went out to some of the projects here in El Paso, and he said, hey, it's going to be a car show parade. We're going to dress up as Santa Claus. We had some elves out there. We had the Grinch out there passing out gifts. We ended up having a huge pizza party in the middle of the projects.
That's dope.
That's what we're about. The kids who they didn't dream of, they Christmas is just another day on the calendar. And now it's something special. Somebody cared enough for me to come and do something special for me. Yeah. And that's what I want for TCBR. I want it to be just, they hear that name and they're like, man, TCBR is a huge family of millions of people that are out to showcase their dogs and do good for the community.
That's dope, man, because at the end of the day, man, it just feels good to help people. You know what I'm saying? And then like if you can, the vision that you're talking about now is just, helping people all over the world, man. And that's going to be huge, man, if you could do shows and then also help out the communities that you're doing shows in and things like that. So that's dope, man. You got my support. I'm willing to help out to do whatever. And I think you said something that's really important, man, that it might go over some people's head is that, your dogs don't support you. And I think that right now, part of the thing with the American Bullies is, and I talk to every guest that I have about this, is everybody's jumping on this like it's the new big business and you're gonna make all kinds of money off of these dogs. And I think once they get into it, they're kind of like, I think I'm spending more than I'm making. And so like the people that I know that have accomplished a lot as far as like a lot of notoriety and getting a lot of attention for their dogs, it didn't happen overnight, and they weren't doing it to make money. They were doing it because it's like their hobby, and it's just something they do. They're passionate about it, and all these other things just kind of came with it. But now it's kind of advertised more like a way to make quick money. And I like the people that I talk to, like I said, they have beautiful dogs, some of the best dogs out there right now. They were just doing it as a passion, bro. They weren't really they're still not chasing money. They're still not, like, they're keeping litters, they're keeping whole litters. They're not making any money.
Yep. And you know, I think that's where something like your field and your expertise of like having these interviews and having the capability of sharing it with the world, that's where it comes like in hand, in that showing the true aspect of it, not televising. You can look up a YouTube video on how to make money off of dogs, and you get a lot of videos that pop up, but you know, truly, you know, showing the world with these interviews and what is it really about. And majority of the people will tell you like they didn't get into this as money. Dogs mean something to them. It's something meaningful. Yeah. And that's truly where your passion comes out. And very true in the dog world, if you're able to get some of the money that you invest back, you're winning. Right. But what people don't understand is the way dogs pay you. It's a very lucrative market, but the way they pay you isn't always in currency. Right. But they have so much to share with you. You just got to be open to that.
Yeah. Just let us know where can people go to register their dogs at Tcbr, and what do they need to register their dogs?
So if you're interested, come check out our website, tcbrglobal.org. We'll have pictures uploaded there after every event. We'll have our judges there, kind of like a meet and greet about that. We're always changing that. We're always going to modify that. Next show events, and then we also have a registration page. And so we have two kinds of different registrations. We have your standard registration, which means your dog already has their established pedigree and is registered with another registry, and you'll have that option. We also have the option of single registration. And one of the reasons we decided to do that, just like UKC, is, you know, there's a lot of people that want to come out here and they want to show their dogs, and maybe they got a dog but didn't know much about it. They want to come out, they want to showcase. A lot of junior handlers that come out and they want to showcase their dog, and we want to welcome people from all walks of life. So that's on there. Something that we want to be able to stand out is, I've talked to plenty of people that, you know, a lot of people like me, and it says, hey, I'm not very good with technology and with apps and with the internet. If you need help, find me on Facebook, or my number. Reach out to me and I'll personally help you guys, or our team will help you get registered. I don't want to getting registered to be like the difficult part. You know, it should be about the dogs, and not about all that paperwork. You need help with the paperwork, somebody on our team can help you.
Nice. And so right now, how's it going so far? You guys getting a lot of dogs registered?
Something that's been just eye-opening to me, and that has been a bit blessing, is that I thought, okay, for sure, you know, Paso and Cruces is gonna be, you know, just that's what we're going to be filling up with, and you know, gratefully we have been, and there's been a lot of people showing love, but you know, getting people from Ohio and Oklahoma and, you know, Las Vegas, California, and I'm just been like, man, like this is, you know, this is something that is unique. And, you know, they've personally, you know, reached out to myself and to Justin and be like, hey, like, we see what you guys do, you know, this is what you've always stood for, and we just want to support, you know. Right. And to me, I mean, that's the biggest like thank you that, you know, I could get. I was just really, really grateful to see how many people out there from social media just rock with you because of like who you are, and they respect that. And you know, somebody that might not be able to you know, make it all the way out here. And, you know, we had shows, actually there's a couple shows we already have planned out, but them to just say, hey, whatever you're with, I'm with it, has been sure, you know, very touching.
I know how much that means, bro, because, you know, it's a little different, but, you know, when I started this YouTube channel or whatever, like, man, I reached out to a lot of people, bro, and like a lot of people didn't want to rock with me, and I get it, you know what I mean? And I know there's different reasons why a lot of people don't like to be on camera, you know, things like that, but you know, I got a lot of support from people I didn't know, bro. Like, it's just people like in the UK, like you said, in different states, just like, hey, bro, I love what you're doing. they don't even know who I am. They're just like, yo, keep it going, bro. Every time I drop a video, hey, keep it going. And so like, those are the things that drive me, like, you know, because you know, it's not easy, bro. Like, people don't always see what's going on behind the scenes, bro. Like, it's a lot of work. When you try to start something from the ground up, it's just like, you almost have to be obsessed with it. And like, I'm literally on my laptop all the time, bro. Like, if it's either just doing something with the family or I'm just grinding, bro. So yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. It means a lot.
I think that's the part where, you know, even the people that sometimes like they might not like what you do, and what people don't understand, like myself personally, our family. So we own 2 businesses, and then we both work full time, and like it's work after work. Yeah. You know, I get that alert, or somebody will hit me up, and sometimes, you know, I won't get off, or, you know, having like the sporting events. I know all your boys are athletes, and so you come home from a game at, you know, 10, 11 o'clock, and, you know, there's work to do. You know, you got to pull out that laptop, and you got to wake up early, but you can't leave it till tomorrow, because tomorrow you got another event planned. So it's like, you make it happen. I think the difference is that having your hobby like as another work makes that a little bit easier, because, you know, like, hey, like, this is the, you know, the end result's gonna be this, and I love what I do, but work is work. Yeah. You know, and you know, so sometimes I will, like, you know, I'll kind of I'll silence my phone for a few hours just to be like, hey, I need, you know, I'll go outside, I'll grab one of the dogs, or I'll grab them, and, you know, that'll be like my, you know, 45-minute hour just to be with them, clear my head. Then I'm ready to come back and be like, all right, let's get it, you know? Yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's crazy. Sometimes, like, I jump in the truck and, like, I don't even put on no music and shit, bro, because I be so caught up in, like, thinking of ideas and things that I want to do, and it's just running through my mind. So where, like, I drive for like a whole hour, I don't even put any music on, bro. Like,
yeah. You know what's it's funny, man. People, my family's like, man, what do you do? Growing up, I hated reading. Yeah. You know, I just for a passion. As a matter of fact, a big confession, you know, that I have my associates, I have my bachelor's, I have 2 masters, my MBA, and people are like, man, you really love school, huh? And I'm like, nah, like, I don't. My first backpack was in college, and it's because I had to have it, because it got hard, and I had to get organized or whatnot. But you know, I just never. It's not something that I enjoyed. But as I got older, you know, I started I look up to a lot of, like, authors and, you know, motivational speakers that just, you know, they got it, you know, they had it hard. You know, growing up, you think like, hey, I'm the only one that's had it like this, and these are my hardships. Or then you get to see, I remember a first time listening to a podcast with Ray Lewis, how he got his number. You know, that 52 is because there's 52 cards in a deck. So, you know, every time his mom was getting beat, he started doing push-ups, and, you know, he'd lay down an 8 and he'd do 8 push-ups, and just because he felt helpless, you know, he couldn't run out there and do nothing or stand up to his father. And you start thinking, I'm like, damn, like, you know, there's thousands, there's millions of me's out there. And something that I've gotten real into is a lot of authors. Robert Greene is a huge one, and as a motivational, there's some power books that I really get into. So sometimes I'll get in the truck and I don't have time to make time to dedicate to read. So that 45-minute drive, you know, I'll put in the audio book, and I'm just listening, and I'm thinking, or, you know, it's my me time. But you're absolutely right. People are like, hey, what songs are you listening to? And I'm like, man, my playlist don't exist right now. This is like, it's a me time. I just want to be able to focus. Yeah. Because wherever I get to, you know, there's work to be done. So this is the time that I get to enjoy.
Yeah, that's when I come up with my best ideas, man. Is I went to Albuquerque like 2 weeks ago, and I ain't listening to nothing the whole way, bro. I'm just thinking, man, just thinking. And I think I try to, you know, just go through everything that might happen. But yeah, for sure, man. So Tcbr, man, I'm hoping that everything is successful. I think it is gonna be. I think it's gonna be a grind, and I know you're willing to put in that work. And like I keep saying, y'all got my support for sure. Is there anything else you want to share with the viewers?
Something huge that I forgot to mention is so on the work side, so I do therapy. I'm a therapist. My wife is a therapist, and so something that it was actually during COVID that I had a few principals reach out to us and some veterinarians, and they were like, hey, you know what, our youth population, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, we want to do something. So we actually linked up with a few local schools, elementaries, middle schools, high schools, and we started doing virtual dog shows. And so what I know is dogs, so that I said I'm going to do something with the dogs for these kids. And we started doing virtual dog shows where it wasn't they didn't have to stack or nothing like that, but it was like, show me what your dog can do, what are their abilities. They sit like a human or fetch, or they do tricks and stuff like that. And we were having, literally videos that had like 100,000 views, like thousands of hours of like views. Kiddos that were like more like sheltered, they didn't like public speaking, they put up a video, people were liking and commenting, bringing up their self-esteem. And something that got me thinking is our population, the population that I work with, is individuals with disabilities. And so on one of those moments where I'm not listening to the radio, just in my zone, and we came up with the concept of having international virtual shows. So targeting two different things is individuals who might, they might be in a wheelchair, they might have a missing limb, they might be somewhere like on the autism spectrum, or might have some kind of disability, but they want to showcase that dog, and they can have help, and they show it on a video, and uploading videos, and us having like virtual competitions that are virtual, and at the same time opening it up to the community. What if I don't have the money to go to a show in China, or I don't, or we've had a lot of love from Mexico. Somebody from Mexico either doesn't have the financial means to do it, or they're not able to cross international borders, but they want to come compete over here. So why not have these shows where we're breaking down not only state boundaries, but international boundaries, having these virtual sanction shows where we have judges kind of sitting down how we're doing here, having like that podcast, having that judge tell us what he's looking at that dog, about the handling, giving information, but having it virtual. That's something that a lot of people suffer from anxiety, where they don't necessarily want to go show the dog, or they're able to work so well with their dog at home, but now when they get to that show, it's not just about showing the dog. It's how many people are looking at me, what are they thinking of me, how's my dog gonna react, I don't feel comfortable, does this match, does it the wheels are always spinning on these individuals. Well, now you're giving them a way to interact, compete, but in the comfort of their home. And that's something that TCBR is about, is not only the able, but what about the people who aren't able to do so? Giving them a means, giving them a voice, allowing them to be somebody, showcase their dogs without that fear. And so that's something huge that we want to bring out. We're gonna have a few virtual sanctioned dog shows throughout the year, and hoping that we're able to reach that crowd and bring those people out. That's something that we want to kind of just open TCBR to the whole world.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Because I know people with different disabilities, that can be very beneficial for them. But even people without disabilities, they still have that anxiety about getting in the ring with their dog. So I could imagine how much more difficult it is for somebody dealing with different disabilities. But yeah, I see people with nice dogs, and I'm like, why don't you show them? They're like, oh, I'm scared to get in the ring. I don't want to get in the ring. Like, it's just like that. When you're doing anything that's you're performing in front of a crowd, those things do run through your mind. So it does stop a lot of people from showing their dogs. Exactly.
And that's something that, if that's what's holding you back, like, I don't want that to hold you back. If it's, not having a visa to travel, I don't want that to hold you back. You might have a dog that nobody's ever seen, world's best kept secret, somewhere remote. I want you to have that ability to show us what you got, introduce yourself to the world, and be able to break that boundary.
It's just funny, man. The more I talk to like people, experienced people that have been like in shows and showing and things like that. I think the interview I did with Alex Ferraro, he actually said almost the same exact thing, was that there's a champion dog just laying on somebody's couch right now.
Absolutely.
And they just don't show them, you know what I mean? It's just for whatever reasons. It could be a money issue, it could be like not wanting to get into the ring, or just it could be anything. But you know, he's like, there's badass dogs just laying on somebody's couch right now.
As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman who came, might have been a week or two ago, and I mean, I just heard my doorbell a little while. There's always somebody here coming through the camp wanting to chop up dogs or training. Gentleman came in with a German Shepherd, one of the most well-behaved German Shepherds, and was like, hey, asked me about training. And I'm like, how did you train? Like what are you, tell me about what your style? Because you know, usually German Shepherds, I tend to see like a little bit more reactive, or even their breathing, the anxiety. That dog was so in tune with this gentleman that I was just like, you don't need me. Yeah. I need to pick your brain.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? What have you been trying? Because I need to add that method.
Right.
But an individual who might not, like, you know, want to put themselves out there, or, you know, might be a little bit more shy or more nervous. And, you know, these people exist all over the world, like you said, and they might have created that. It might have been a breeding that they did where this dog is just amazing, but no one's ever going to see it, you know? Yeah. And so most of the people that we see and then we see on social media are your outspoken people, and they go out there and they rock with that dog. And, you know, being honest, a lot of the times it's not even a great dog. It's just they put themselves out there and people are like, yeah, I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to rock. But that one quiet dude in the back that has that, you know, Ferrari of a dog, you're like,
never see it.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something that, you know, I'm thinking that's just, as for now, you know, and like I said, blessed with a beautiful team that, you know, have beautiful minds that contribute. But that's just one of the ways that we want to reach out to those people and be like, now's your time. Like, show us what you got, you know, shine. Like, having a you know, a champion, a grand champion dog, that they were able to do it virtually. Yeah.
Hey, one time I was delivering, I helped my friend drop off some tires to like a mechanic or somebody that was working on his car, gonna paint his car, and man, a badass bully ran out the house. And I was like, damn, that's a badass dog, bro. I'm like, where'd you get him from? He was like, oh, my homie Saul.
Yeah.
And I think I told you about it. I don't remember the guy's name. It was like a black dog, but I don't know if he paints cars or he's a mechanic or something, but he's like, yeah, my boy Saul. And I was like, oh, I know him. He's like, yeah, I got him from him. I'm like, small world. But yeah, like he don't post his dog, he don't show his dog, but it was a badass dog. But yeah, there's a lot of dogs out there that aren't being seen, so that's dope that you'll give those people that opportunity to show their dogs.
Absolutely. And even amongst that, you know, I've had dogs that were like, hey, you know what, this dog is a $5,000 dog, this dog is a, being honest with you, I've met parents and some of my own patients, and they're like, you know what, my child this and that, and where I've been like, I want you to have this dog. I want you to, just because I know how much more meaningful that's going to be to that individual. But you know, now giving them a platform and be like, now let me see what you did with that dog. You know, I think that's going to be inspirational for, you know, even us to be like, man, like, you know, look at this person, he got in there, look what he did with that dog. Like, that's something that's going to be, you know, unique.
For sure. Yeah, definitely, man. So I know you got stuff you want to do today. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm going to let you go. I still got to go outside and clean some kennels, man. Always. No days off, man. But yeah, so like, I'm going to try to drop all your info, but right now, if you just want to let everybody know where they can find you on Facebook, Instagram, and also your website one more time.
Awesome. So I'm most familiar with Facebook. So Facebook, Saul Tercero, TCBR website, tcbrglobal.org. We also have a TikTok that's connected to training all about canines. However you can get at me, if you get my number, if you get my information, reach out to me. I'm always personable. I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to chop it up. I do get hundreds of messages. I'll get to you, I promise, and however I can help, I will help. And I look forward to everybody joining the TCBR family. D, as always, thank you. I appreciate the love, the support. Welcome to the TCBR family, and can't wait to start, doing some more work with you.
Yeah, for sure, man. I got y'all's back. I'm ready to work, man. I love doing this stuff. I love just being a part of everything, man. I've met so many people. I started the YouTube channel 2 years ago, and I've met so many people, man. Everybody's so cool, supportive. Everybody's always sharing my content, which means a lot to me. So yeah, man, I'll be in contact with you soon, and we'll get this thing going, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Perfect, brother.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like a plan. Man. Appreciate your time and efforts, and truly, like, everything that you put up there, and that skill set that you show up there. That's awesome. And I think most important, just being a loyal person. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool, man.
All right, thanks, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Sounds good. Thank you.
Later, bro.